Hi everybody, it's Roger from the Cluster Headache Research Project. I have a very good announcement to make today, and that is that the new application with the OpenHumans connection is live for iPhone and for Android. So you can download it now, you can create an account on OpenHumans, and you can start to collect and save and share data for research. After this part where I'm explaining a little bit, I will add in a screencast of the app itself, so I explain a little bit on how everything works. For everybody joining, please don't forget the only way to get this up and going and get good results is if as many as possible cluster headache patients start to join the project. So make sure you share messages, you talk about the messages. If you see people that have questions about how treatments work, tell them that by collecting data we can do our own research and we can find an answer based on our data. I will now load in the little video about how the app works and how you can set up an account, and I hope I will all see you online in the OpenHumans project by seeing the number of participants going up.
So now we go to the app. Once you start the app, you get this starting screen asking you if you have OpenHuman accounts, if you want to connect straight away. We just say cancel for this moment. Then we get the start screen where we can select one of the languages we have available at this moment. I'll leave it in English for the moment, and I press OK and continue. Now I'm in the app itself, and the app has 4 chapters, which is the button part. Next to it we have the history, we have the timeline, and we have the profile. So we'll go back to the buttons. The buttons are used to collect the data. Every button is a unique symptom or treatment. By pressing the big plus button on the top on the image, you go to the library. Here you can choose between the different groups we have. The first one is symptoms, and the rest are all treatments basically, or things we do to feel better. So we first go to the symptoms, and we all, I think, need to load the cluster headache button first. So we just press the cluster headache button. Leave the time activated. You can deactivate it and activate it so you use it or you don't use it, but we just leave it activated and we say add. Now we get to a relation page, which I will explain when we add the next button. For now I just press save. And now the cluster headache button is added to the application. Now add a second button, which is oxygen. So I press plus again. I say medicine. Go down to the oxygen. Oxygen. Press it. I say I use quantity by default. I say 15. A lot of treatments you can set a quantity by default, so you don't have to do that every time you take a treatment. So if you use a 6 milliliter sumatriptan, just put 6 milliliter, and then every time you push it, 6 milliliter will get registered. So I put 15 liters for oxygen, and I say add. And now I get again the relation screen. Which relationship has oxygen with your other buttons? Well, we only have one other button at this moment, so I can say cluster headache and oxygen, well, their relation is an abortive treatment, because oxygen is an abortive treatment for cluster headache. But I can also say, like if I use therapies, I can say that it's an occasional treatment because I only go once a day. And every medication I take daily, I just say that it's a daily treatment for the symptom. But I can also say that a symptom is a side effect of a treatment. So there are some options here. And if you think you need one more, please let me know. Not every button needs to have a relation with the other ones because some just don't have it. But if you can fill it in, that would be great. Now we just say save. And we see that oxygen is also listed in the app next to cluster headache. So now if I had an attack, I just press cluster headache. I get the pop-up screen where I can set an intensity, where I can set a value for time in minutes or in hours. So I say 20 minutes, done, and I say add at the bottom. And I get the message that the cluster headache is added OK. Now I press the oxygen button because I also use that one. And now my attack and my oxygen use for the attack is registered. As you can see in the history now we have 2 items in the list. If you want to add a registration or an attack that you forgot to register or you didn't have the energy, you can make a registration and then press the pencil and change the time of the attack and say, well, this attack was not today, this attack was yesterday, and it wasn't at 9, it was at 5 or 6:35 in the morning. I just say cancel now. Yeah, I can also delete a registration over here, so I press the pencil again and I can say delete registry. If I go to the timeline, these 2 registrations are placed on my timeline. A timeline is basically on the bottoms all the day of the month, and on the side all the hours of the day. And we made one registration now at the 18th at 9 o'clock at night, more or less. So we see 2 points there, one of the cluster headache and one of the oxygen. If you only want to see oxygen, you just press the cluster headache so it gets deactivated, or you activate it again and you deactivate the oxygen. These points move a little bit in size, but once you have more data, they stay more fixed. Now we'll go to the profile page. The profile page is to give some information about yourself, about like your gender, your age, your weight and your height. You can also set your language of the app over here. You can add some diagnoses you have, and you can connect to the groups. I'd like to ask everybody who has cluster headache to at least connect to the cluster headache patient-driven research group. And you just select it, and you press add, and then it's added. On the profile page, we also have the OpenHumans connection. The OpenHumans connection is used to store and back up our data on another place than in the app, because the app only stores data on the telephone itself. It means that if you lose your telephone, you lose your data. If you use OpenHumans, you can store your data on OpenHumans, and if you lose your phone or you change your phone and you have a new install of the application, you can just download the data again and use it on your phone again. Another benefit of OpenHumans is that it gives us, as patient group, the option to share our data for research and to create our own research projects to start out our own research. We can log in here if you have an account, or you press create account. Then you get a screen where they ask you to log in, but you can press create account at the bottom. And then you can just say continue with Facebook, continue with Google, or continue with email. and you make a login. I continue with, I don't already have an account, so I skip this part, but you will find out. I will go straight to login, and I will sign in my login name. 1 second. So I've signed, given in my username and my password, and I just press login. And now I get to the confirmation page that you want to store your data in the Nobism project on OpenHumans. This doesn't mean that you share any data. All the data is completely in your account and nobody has access to it. So here's the explanation of the project. Currently it's in development, but probably if you log into the application, it's already live. So there's explanation of what happens or what you're storing online. You can hide your membership, and then you just say authorize project. And now you get the confirmation message that you're successfully connected to OpenHumans. And when you press OK, you will see that the create account and the login buttons will go away, and you will have your OpenHumans account over here. From the application, you can access everything on OpenHumans you need to store data, to to connect to research projects, or to go to your account on OpenHumans. I will pass the buttons one by one and the options. First, you can set when the app will synchronize data with OpenHumans, so when it will save your data on OpenHumans. This will only happen if you have your application active. So use it once in a while and then it will upload the data. If you want to be sure that your data is uploaded, you just press the first top button which says synchronize with OpenHumans. I will wait 1 second with that to do it, because I first want to look at the account. Later on the research projects, at the moment the list is empty, but I'm working on getting the Ubicum project listed here, and hopefully a lot of other research projects that we hope to get started. First I want to go into the OpenHumans account. What you basically can do here is, well, you can see your public profile, you can see exactly what projects you joined, so I will show that one. So we can see the data. I'm member of various projects at the moment, but you can see that I'm also connected to the Nobism project, and there are not currently any files associated with this source. That's because I didn't synchronize yet my data with OpenHumans. So what I will first do is now synchronize with OpenHumans. I can show you that your data will get stored on OpenHumans. I say confirm. Your phone data has been merged successfully with OpenHumans. Oh, perfect. Now we go back to our OpenHumans account and we go to My Data. And we go to Nobism. And now we see that we have 5 data files. The first one is diagnosis. That's the list of that you could fill in your profile page. The groups are listed in a different file. Personal information that's only contains your day of birth, female, male, gender, weight and height. Then there's a file for the relation you've set between the different buttons, and then there's a symptom file which contains basically all the time points, all the times you pressed a button, listed as from one file. You can download them and store them on your computer as well. If we go back to our account settings in OpenHumans, the bottom one, you can change if you want to receive news and updates. You can change your password, email, social logins and everything. And you can also delete your account. That means you throw away your account, you throw away your data, and everything is gone, erased. You're not there anymore. So watch out what you do. At least make sure that you download the data files of Nobism before you do a step like that. We go back to the application. This is basically how it all works. Once you're logged in, you can synchronize, you can add more buttons to the application, you can add alternative treatments I have listed, you can add food and drink triggers or all little buttons. Sport activity therapy, therapies where you go to vitamins or minerals, homeopathic. At the bottom one, tools, there's a nice button because it's called report. I'll add that one to the button list, you see. And what it does is that if I press it, I can just make a comment, make a little text. You can make a subject to it, subject, and then add your comment. And that one will be listed in your application as well, in your history. Well, that's it for so far. If there are any questions, you can always send me an email, send me a message on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or any other place where you see my name pop up.